Welcome everyone to today's webcast. We're going to be discussing the integration of Qlikview and Salesforce.com and how you can use that to enhance your customer relationship management. As she said, my name is Tom Yeager, and I'm joined today by my colleague, David Bucholtz. We are both business intelligence and analytics consultants with Thorogood Associates and have experience delivering enterprise Qlikview solutions for our clients. We're both based out of the U.S., with David in Philadelphia and myself in the New York area. Today, we're going to look at how we can incorporate data from Salesforce into a Qlikview application in order to improve the user's ability to analyze and digest the data. Then, we'll show you how to embed that application back into Salesforce so that it can be shared across the organization with additional Salesforce functionality. And then finally, we'll discuss including additional data sources into the same application in order to enhance the analytic capabilities with sales data. Just a quick look at the agenda. We're going to start off with a brief introduction of Thorogood. Then David is going to break down the different details of the individual offerings from Qlik and Salesforce. After that, we'll break into 3 different demonstrations that will show the possibilities of integrating Salesforce with Qlikview and vice versa. We'll be using a data set based on pharmaceutical sales and calls targets today. However, I think the concepts and techniques shown will be able to be applicable to any industry, and they address a wide range of business issues. Then finally, at the end, if time permits, we'll have some time for all of you to submit questions through the chat pane, and we'll try and address them on the call. Without any further ado, though, let's go ahead and get started. Thurgood is a specialist consulting firm specializing in business intelligence and analytics for almost 30 years now. While we partner with a number of different technology platforms, we are independent. These partnership relations allow us to deliver top-of-the-line solutions, while our independence allows us to focus on the specific needs of our clients, no matter what their technology requirements may be. We operate as a single global organization across our offices in the U.S., in New York and Philadelphia, as I mentioned, and then our headquarters in London and our office in Bangalore, India. This allows us to serve global clients around the world, wherever they may be. We provide end-to-end services to meet all business needs, from BI and analytics strategies and technology roadmaps through to training and adoption of technologies and applications. However, the bulk of our work comes from the design and development as well as the delivery of applications, such as the one that we'll demo today. We also offer analysis and support services around those applications. All of our consultants are recruited for and trained to possess a unique set of skills that allow them to understand the businesses in which we operate, as well as the technical skills to work with the different platforms in order to deliver superior solutions in terms of usability and performance. This combination of skills gives our consultants the ability to get the most out of every situation. Here's a brief list of some of our clients, which are leading organizations in the insurance, pharmaceutical, banking, and CPG industries, consumer packaged goods. And we have listed a few of those here. We take special pride in the long-standing relationships we've fostered and maintained with some of our clients. These organizations are all large and complex businesses, and we utilize intimate industry knowledge as well as the deep technical capabilities to deliver successful solutions to their unique business challenges. As I mentioned before, we are an independent firm that partners with many different technologies, and here you can see just some of them. You notice we partner with both niche players as well as larger BI standards. In the bottom row, you'll notice Rombi, a specialist in the mobile reporting spaces, which was recently acquired by SAP. And similarly, Microsoft has also recently acquired Revolution Analytics, which specializes in R analytics. And today, of course, we'll be focusing specifically on our partnerships with Qlik and Salesforce. With this cross-platform knowledge and partnership, we develop well-rounded expertise that allows us to successfully integrate tools together, such as, in this case, Qlikview and Salesforce. We've been Qlik partners since 2009, and we've delivered numerous solutions since then across industries, specializing in the end-to-end integration of connecting Qlik with enterprise data systems to help companies get the most value of new and existing data in their organization. We do have more than 60 consultants worldwide with experience delivering Qlik solutions, and quite often what we're doing with Qlik is integrating it with other technologies such as data platforms to source data into Qlik such as we've mentioned SAP BW, Teradata, or Oracle. Or it may be platforms where we can push out Qlik content and embed it in tools such as SharePoint or Salesforce, as we will see today. We're excited about our recent partnership with Salesforce. We are a registered consulting partner, and we're focused more on integration than consumer relationship management implementation. As you can see from this brief introduction, we have a lot of experience integrating Qlikview with many different technologies. Like many of our webcasts, today's demonstrations are actually inspired by our clients and the business problems they face. We're going to demonstrate the excellent synergies that can be achieved by integrating data visualization capabilities of Qlikview with the CRM software of Salesforce. And we hope that by the end of this presentation, you will experience and understand the possibilities that this collaboration of tools provides and potentially start to see areas of your business where such capabilities can be useful. I'm now going to pass it over to David to take us into the next section.
Thanks, Tom. So before we get started into the specifics, we wanted to answer some fundamental questions about these tools. So questions like, what can Salesforce do as a standalone product? What additional benefits does Qlikview have to offer? And what can you gain by pulling data from Salesforce into Qlikview? So now let's take a look at the dashboarding and reporting tools that Salesforce can provide. So what you're seeing on the screen now is two snapshots from Salesforcecom Dashboard that we've created. So you can do reporting directly within the Salesforce.com platform. One thing you'll notice between these two slides is that Salesforce.com look and feel is different between the two. So in the top left, the aesthetic that we're using is called Salesforce Lightning, which is a refreshed user experience that came out last year. And then on the right, you see the classic view. Basically the same dashboards and reports, both within Salesforce. We won't get into too much detail regarding Lightning or its differences between Classic or other facets of Salesforce product suite in today's webcast. But if you'd like more information, please feel free to reach out to us either via the chat pane or via email afterwards, and we'd be happy to speak further about Salesforce. But what we wanted to show is that you can do dashboarding directly in Salesforce, and it allows you to display reports that you create as visual cards. But one thing we wanted to emphasize is that it does have its limitations. First of all, the layout is very structured in terms of what you can report, and the visuals are relatively basic with very little ability to customize. So it's hard to make these reports your own. So you might be a user who's never done any reporting in Salesforce, or maybe you've done some reporting but found some frustrations with not being able to customize it in the way that you want. And that's really where Qlikview fits in, and the ability to customize reporting and visualizations within Qlikview so that you can use Qlikview to its fullest extent. Now getting into Qlikview, Qlikview offers many benefits when analyzing data, specifically like account data or sales data, as well as many other types of information that you may encounter in your business. It has the power of in-memory data modeling, which increases performance over constantly having to run queries against an external data model. Qlikview also gives your developers more freedom in their ability to create customized reports. And this is really where the benefit fits in when talking about Qlikview versus Salesforce. And you can really have unique functions and capabilities within Qlikview. And we're going to go through some of that in our demos later on. The data model also allows you to combine multiple different data sources together into one cohesive structure, which allows you for the opportunity to drill through and take advantage of guided analytics. So you start from a high-level view of your data, but you have the ability to get to that lower-level detail so you can better answer your business questions. So now we want to put the benefits of both of these products together. So let's take a look at using Salesforce.com as a data source to fuel our Qlikview insights. Qlikview allows you to create a custom connection directly to Salesforce.com, and you can you pull in the data using the same interface that you would for importing other databases. All it involves is downloading an executable package from Qlik.com that will allow you to connect to your Salesforce account. After adding in a connector string, you can extract fields from all the tables within the Salesforce data, and you do it the same way that you would from any relational database within Qlikview. So in our case, we used a Viva connector, which is an instance of Salesforce that's specific for pharma data. Once you create a connection to Salesforce, you load it into a script just like you do other Qlikview applications. And then you have the ability to customize it, add additional data, additional objects, and create custom relationships between data tables. And that's whether the data is within Salesforce or outside data. And any time you reload your Qlikview script, you'll be pulling in the most recent and up-to-date version of your Salesforce.com data. Now we're going to take a look at an example of a Qlikview dashboard that we've created that pulls in account and call information directly into Salesforce. Directly from Salesforce, into Qlikview. And I'll hand it back over to Tom to go through the first demo.
Great, thank you, David. For this first demo that we're going to be showing, I'm going to assume the role of a regional manager responsible for overseeing several different segments within that region. We're going to be looking, this first report we're going to be looking at shows us target and actual call data brought into Qlikview from Salesforce. And the goal of my analysis today in this demo will be to determine which accounts are not meeting the targets, and therefore which account managers I need to talk to make sure that we can improve the performance of those accounts. I'm now going to switch over to the desktop version of Qlikview itself. Just a quick note for anyone from the US, the dashboard is based on something that we built for a project in Europe. So it is the European number format with commas and decimal places switched from the US, so just so people are aware when they first see the application. As you can see, if you're not familiar, I know we have some people on the call who are not Qlik users currently, so if you haven't seen Qlikview before, I'm going to walk through just the basic outline of what we see here on the screen. So as I mentioned, I did pull up the desktop version of Qlikview, and here you can see at a very high level we've created a custom format for our report internally to Thurgood, but we would design one of these for each of our clients, or we'd use something that exists in their current structure with color schemes and reporting styles and things like that. The other thing then you'll see here is we kind of have a consistent filter area on the left-hand side of the screen where we can apply all of our filters, and these will apply then both to the sheet objects here, but as well as the other tabs in this report. So one of the things that Qlikview has is as you look across the top, you see a bunch of different tabs, and each tab represents a different sheet within this application, so you can get different information, and we'll demo some of these later as well. But as I mentioned, if I make selections within here, the filters that are here will then apply both to this sheet as well as all of the other sheets. We also then have some different navigation features which you can clear all filters or go forward and backwards, similar to like you would do in a web application where you go back and forward in pages. Then we come to the center of the page here. This is where our main reporting content is. So this is where we have our trend and bar charts as well as a detailed table that will show how we can use cycle groups and things like that to really drill deep down into our information from a very high level. The first thing that I want to show, though, is the connection to Salesforce that David mentioned. So as he said, in Qlikview, there is a custom connection you can create to Salesforce. You can actually download the connector from the Qlik website, and when you do, you come to this databases drop down here, and you'll see that I have this Qlikview Salesforce connector enabled. Then from here, I can connect, and apologize, a tap on the screen here. You can input your username and your password and all of your security information. You can set up your connections and how you want to bring in the data using a SQL, and then hit OK. And what you'll be left with then is this custom connect string that will actually connect you directly to your Salesforce data. And then every time you refresh your Qlikview application, you'll pull the latest information from Salesforce directly. And once you do that, then you're left with what we see here on these tables. So, as I mentioned, we're looking to see how we've done for the number of calls versus the number of target calls that we wanted for, over the past few quarters. And I want to target which ones are the lowest performing accounts so that I can reach out to those account managers. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see here that the call versus target, I want to highlight the lowest percent, and I can actually sort by double-clicking on the header. I can see that our segment A is our lowest performing versus target within my region. I apologize, I selected the wrong one. So I want to select that. And here I can also see then very quickly that Q1 of 2016 was the farthest we were away from our target. So if I want to highlight and see what we did specifically there, I can also make a selection there. And then I can filter and use a cycle group and go to months, and now I can see the month within that quarter, and I can again see very quickly that March is our lowest performing month as well. I can switch over to another tab to once again see that same view that March is we had a very steep drop off in our average calls over time. If I then want to drill into the next level of this, I can use another cycle group to go and I can see the specialties within that segment. I can also go to the next tab to see the remaining calls to target. And again, both here where I see this top bar, as well as with this sorted list, I can see the dental hygienist is the one where we were missing the most calls versus what our target was supposed to be. So again, I can make a selection there and can go to the next level. And now I can see specifically which accounts within dental hygienist we're working with. And I can again see then very quickly that account 70 is the one that is the most far from the target. I can select account 70, and I can actually go to the next level, and I can see which drugs within that quarter are missing target. And now I have the ability to actually go back to the account manager, who in this case will be played by David in the next demo that we'll show. And I can say specifically, so in quarter 1 with account 70, we were missing our targets by this much, and this is what we need to do, and then ask him to then do further analysis to really determine what we can do to turn that around and get those calls back in line with targets. So to recap what we've just seen, it's easy to connect to Qlikview to Salesforce. Once you have a custom connection established, you can actually pull the data from Salesforce time and time again, either refreshing the data you currently have or pulling in new tables of information. With Qlikview, there are a number of different visualization options available to you, such as dual axis graphs, pivot tables, custom formatting, etc. That provides a lot more opportunities beyond what is natively available in Salesforce. Qlikview is set up to allow for guided analytics with filters that work across multiple sheets and cycle groups for drilling through your data, as we just showed through that last demo. And then dashboards also allow for interactivity between multiple charts, so you can use your selections as a filter for your view as a whole. As you saw, they made a selection in one chart, the other chart was filtered to match that, so you're looking at everything in the same dimensionality and same level. Not to mention the ability to pull in and join additional data, but we'll show that later. And now that we've seen how we can integrate Salesforce data into Qlikview application, I'm going to hand it over to David to demo how we can embed that same application back into Qlikview itself for easy sharing.
Thanks, Tom. So now that we've seen sort of the benefits of extracting tables from Salesforce and deploy it into Qlikview, and we see that that's a great way to enhance, visualize, and analyze your data, but what happens when you want to share your findings with other people on your team or in your company? So the great thing about Qlikview is that you can easily and seamlessly integrate your dashboard back into the Salesforce environment to be able to share it with others. So as we've shown already, you can extract your data from Salesforce into Qlikview via a connector package available on Qlik.com. But in order to share that dashboard with others, you'll need to have an enterprise solution in place. So by utilizing tools like the Qlik server and access point, reports are located centrally, and you are easily able to access your data from anywhere, using a web browser or a mobile device, as long as you're connected to the network. This means that there's always one source of the truth, which limits the possibility of confusion that it can arise when everyone is using separate reports, which may not have the latest data or updates. It also eases the burden for development, as you can develop with one report that can be utilized by a broad range of people, and you can incorporate filters and security measures as part of the enterprise Qlikview server. And with this server, it's also possible to set up automated reload schedules to make sure that your dashboards are always reported with the most recent data on a predictable schedule. So this is where you could set up your reload to make sure that you're pulling the latest data, and your latest data from Salesforce or any of your sources will be available based on that schedule that you set up in your server. So if you have an enterprise Qlik solution in place and you're using Access Point and the Qlikview server, integrating that dashboard back into your Salesforce environment is pretty simple. It's as easy as embedding the link from your dashboard on Access Point into its own Salesforce tab. So using that URL that comes from Access Point, we can embed that into a tab in Salesforce. So let's show you what that looks like in our next demo. So for this scenario, as Tom said, I'll be taking the role of a sales rep, an account owner that's interested in tracking how I'm doing with my calls against the targets. And so my manager, Tom, has done some analysis in his Qlikview desktop application. He asked me a couple questions and things to look into. Now I want to go in and determine the accounts that I'm doing well in and where I need to focus my time. So I'm going to open up my web browser here to show you how I can get to this information. So first of all, what I'm showing here is a browser that has that's kind of my access point. So this is Qlikview Access Point, which is Qlikview Server, and I can see all the different applications that I have access to. And I can go into my Qlikview and Salesforce demo area to view the demo application that I have. Try that again. So here's the application that Tom was just working in, and I can see that it's been distributed to the server so that anyone with access and with the security that's implemented can view this dashboard. So if I open up this dashboard, I have it open in another tab here. I'll just refresh it to make sure that it's pulling the latest data. Now I can interact with this data from my web browser the same way that Tom was interacting with it on his desktop. So I can make selections, I can use these cycle groups in order to get my information and interact with my data right within the browser. So this is a great way to share your data, and this is sort of the use case of sharing your Qlikview application within the Qlikview server. And that's great, but it's a separate place that we have to go to get to this data. So what I really want to show is the benefit of actually viewing this data directly within my Salesforce.com platform. By doing this, it will allow me to have a one-stop shop where I have both of my Salesforce and my Qlikview all together. So I'm going to go into my Salesforce application, or my Salesforce website now, and this is just my home page in Salesforce where I get all of my latest data. So this is really great for enterprises, customers that are using Salesforce on maybe a daily basis, really so that they can just go into Salesforce and they can also get to their Qlikview data. So as you can see, I have a tab. I have a tab here within Salesforce called Call Analytics Qlikview, and this is where we have our Qlikview data. So I'm going to click on this tab, and it's going to open up my Qlikview application. Actually, I have it open here. Yep. So you can see that just by going to this tab, it's going to reconnect to Qlikview, and I can get to actually the same view and same data directly now within my Salesforce application. And that was just by embedding the link. So all we had to do was take the link from Access Point and embed it into this page. So now I can get to my Qlikview data directly on Salesforce, and I still have the same capacity to interact with my data in the same way that Tom was showing within the desktop application. So in this scenario, if you remember, I'm the account owner for account 70, and Tom let me know that I should really focus some time on that account 70. So what I'm going to do is sort of create those same selections that he did to get to my account 70 information. So he is filtered on dental hygienist, and then using the cycle groups, I can go down and get to my account data. So here I can see account data, and I can see that I am pretty short on my targets. So I want to really focus on this, and maybe the first thing that I do is I want to look more into that account to understand what's the history with that account, who are our contacts, some information about that account. And what you can do is actually embed links into the Qlikview application that can link to Salesforce. So what we've done here is added a link here to the account details page. So I open this account details. It's going to open a new tab and take me directly to within Salesforce, my account 70 details page. So now I can see all the information about the account, what drugs are being used, some information about this account. So because I took that link and put it into Qlikview, I can then use it, and I'm still right within my Salesforce application, going back seamlessly between Qlikview and Salesforce. So I see my account information, and I also maybe want to see the specific drugs that I want to focus on. So again, Tom showed how you can use cycle groups to get to this information. But I can see all the drugs that were just listed in that account group, but I also can see that these are the 3 that I really want to focus on. So I know I want to focus on these, And so the first thing I'm going to do is schedule a call. So if I go back into my account information, you can see I also have another link next to the account details where I can schedule a call. And this too will open up a new window that's going to take me to the scheduler within Salesforce. So now I can just create a subject for this. So I want to call 70. I can list the specific drugs that I know I want to focus on, or put any comments that I need to. Then I can set my schedule, so I want to call them tomorrow at 8 a.m. And so now that, now I can just save this off. And again, I'm going from Qlikview into Salesforce and sort of using that seamlessly by putting in links and embedding that Qlikview application within Salesforce. So it's just one place I need to go in the morning, go to my Salesforce, and I have everything that I need. So now we see how integrating Qlikview back into the Salesforce environment is an easy way to access and take action on your data. The other benefit of using Qlikview embedded in Salesforce is that you can incorporate other data, like sales data from SAP or any of your other data that you might be using in your enterprise, into that Qlikview application and then be able to view it within Salesforce. That's what we're going to focus on next, is incorporating additional data sources. So if I go back into my high-level architecture here, we talked through how you can extract from Salesforce, distribute the application from Qlikview onto Qlikview server, and then embed that link into Salesforce.com. If I wanted to include additional data sources, where does that fall in? It falls in right here. So this is where, so I can take additional data sources and put it into my Qlikview desktop model. So maybe sources like SAP BW, SQL Server, Excel files. There are a range of different data sources that Qlikview can connect to and bring in data from. So not only is Salesforce.com one of the data sources, but I might want to combine that with sales data from SAP, for instance. And that's what I want to show you in the next demo. So we're going to switch back over to my Qlikview application, and we'll do it, again, right within Salesforce. I'm just going to clear my selection, and we'll see how I can compare my sales data to my Salesforce data. And I'm going to do that by going to the Dashboard tab. This is where you can see that we've already combined these two data sources into this Qlikview application. So on the left-hand side, we have our actual call and target information that's coming from Salesforce. And what we noticed here is that even though this year to date, we're missing our targets by quite a lot, compared to last year, to this time last year, we're actually 600% over the calls that we made last year. So we're doing a lot more calls this year than last year. So I want to understand, how does that translate into sales? And I can do that by looking on the right-hand side here. This is my sales data that's coming in from SAP. So I can track that sales over time. I can also compare that sales between this year and last year. And I see that sales are actually up 144%. So by having both the Salesforce.com data and the SAP data, I can easily make some judgments and see that there's likely a correlation between increased number of calls between last year and the sales that have increased about last year. So what's really great is that within Qlikview, because I incorporated these two data sources, I can do that in Salesforce. And otherwise, I wouldn't have any of this SAP sales data within Salesforce. But I can see that now within Salesforce because we're using Qlikview. So we saw that we can use Qlikview and embed it into Salesforce, not just view Salesforce data, but also external data as well. Now I'll hand it back over to Tom to do wrap-up and hopefully answer some questions.
Great, thank you, David. To quickly recap what we saw today, as David mentioned, so we explored how we can connect Salesforce data into Qlikview and then use the expanded visualization capabilities that Qlikview provides you to be able to really analyze and digest that data. Then we showed how you can seamlessly integrate the Qlikview dashboard back into Salesforce so you have that one-stop shop for the one source of the truth where everything is within Salesforce and you can use the Qlikview application. And then finally, what David just showed is how you can integrate other data sources such as sales data from SAP into your Qlikview application so that you can view everything side by side and very easily start to make some decisions and assumptions based on the information that you have provided there. Here we've listed just a few of the different areas where we can provide services to our clients. As I mentioned at the start, we are an end-to-end supplier capable of delivering solutions across a wide range of technologies. We work with our clients to actually outline a strategy and design solutions, and then we'll help them integrate them into their day-to-day business with proper training as well as user adoption. If you liked today's webcast and you're interested in learning some more about other things, we do have a few webcasts that are available that are coming up in the next few days and weeks. The first one being later this week, actually, with the Thurgood Reporting and Analytics Hub. We're actually going to be demoing our own internal Reporting and Analytics Hub, which is a sleek web-based application which centralizes analytics, insights, structured reporting independent of the underlying reporting technology. So you can have one place for everything from Tableau, Qlikview, Microsoft Reporting Services, Excel, SAP Business Objects, the works. And we'll use it to discuss the benefits of a centralized platform for sharing insights. Then on October 4th, our colleague Julia from the UK will actually discuss what she's learned from working with clients for over 25 years and share some of the emerging trends as well as what might just be hype. Then we're going to be looking at the latest Microsoft BI landscape with Power BI and the tools like that. And then we'll have an overview of the Tableau 10 release and why we think it's the most powerful and compelling offer yet. So if any of those are of interest to you, you can actually go to our website and register for those now. And then we also do have some upcoming topics that aren't available to register now, but will be within the next month or two. If you like today's session about Qlikview in Salesforce, we also have one about Power BI in Salesforce and how you can integrate that tool into Salesforce as well. And then we'll also have a discussion about Cloud BI and the different offerings there. We do have a few minutes, so we'll check the pane. If you do have any questions, feel free to send those over. As I said, we don't have a lot of time, but I do see we have some questions, so we'll try to get to some, but if not, we will follow up with you after the call. We also do have both David and my email addresses and our information there on the screen, so if you do have any questions after this call, do feel free to reach out to either of us at any point. Okay, so one of the first questions I'm seeing, this is a quick, easy one. For those of you not familiar with Qlikview, there are two other tools within the Qlik company kind of suite of products, one of those being QlikSense, which is an ad hoc, more ad hoc sort of reporting tool. And the question was, can we embed QlikSense into Salesforce as well? And the short answer to that is yes. You have the same basic functionality to integrate QlikSense into Salesforce. QlikSense is designed to be a bit more modular, though, with the ability to actually embed single charts as well as the full application. But the short answer is yes, you can do that. Another question that we just saw, which is going around security. So can everyone see the Qlikview application in Salesforce if you've embedded it in the Salesforce web app? Since we're using a link from Access Point to link to the Qlikview application there, your section access and your distribution and all of that is controlled based on how you set up your system enterprise, so the security you've used both in the data level if you have something in the Qlikview application itself, or based on the distribution you have with Access Point. So if a user can see Access Point, if they can see the application in Access Point, then they'll be able to see it in Salesforce as well, otherwise they won't. And I think we have time for just one more. I apologize, I do see there's a few more. We haven't gotten to all of them, but we'll answer one more about mobile devices. So can you use the Qlik solution and can you view it with Salesforce on mobile devices? Again, short answer is yes. So with HTML5, if you access Salesforce through a web browser on any of your devices and you're on like a network, you can see it on your mobile device. However, if you want to view the Qlikview application itself, it works on premises, so if you're on the network and you're connected to internet. But I know sometimes when people are asking about using mobile data, it's often when they're like at a client site or something like that. So if you want to use it, off the premises, offline, there is an iOS app for Apple products that you can use that, and you don't have to be connected to a network. But otherwise, if you want to view Qlikview in Salesforce, you need to be connected to the internet and connected to your network. So thank you all for joining us today. As I mentioned, if we didn't get to your questions, we will get to those and we'll reach out to you individually. Also, if you do have any questions, we do have our information still on the screen, so feel free to reach out to either David or I. But otherwise, thank you all for joining again, and have a nice day.